Good morning, children. What are you all doing? I hope you all are doing a regular study in your day-to-day, right, activities. Today, let us continue with our topic, digestion system, and let's learn some more parts of the digestive system and what to eat and what not to eat in today's video. Yes, until now we learned about how do we eat our food from mouth, how our teeth helps us to bite and chew, how the saliva gets mixed with the food and makes it a little sweeter and easily swallowable, correct? Now, once you finish chewing properly in the mouth, what do? You swallow it. When you swallow the food from the mouth, the food goes to the food pipe, correct? It enters the food pipe, and with the help of the food pipe only, it travels through the food pipe and it enters into the stomach, correct? It enters into the stomach. And now what happens to the food which enters into the stomach? Okay, this you can see on your screen, this pink color, light pink shade bag is nothing but your stomach inside. The stomach looks like a muscular bag. Yes, it does. It looks like a bag only, right? So it's a muscular bag, like an organ, which in which food can be stored for few hours. So once you have your food, right, what happens to this food? You have chewed properly. This food enters into this bag. What is that? The stomach, and it stays in the stomach for few hours. Immediately, it does not go to the intestine. It stays in the stomach for few hours. So what happens to this food when it is there inside the stomach for few hours? During this time, children, the food gets mixed with the digestive juices. Yes, the food inside the stomach when gets mixed with the digestive juices. Now, from where do they get these juices? Yes, the juice is secreted by the walls of the stomach. Can you see the walls of the stomach? Like, yes, the stomach itself produces the digestive juice. So this digestive juice gets mixed up with the food, and here the food gets digested partially, not complete digestion happens in the stomach. Children, do remember, the food is not completely digested in the stomach. Partially it gets digested in the stomach. Okay. And now, once the food gets digested in the stomach partially, the undigested food is transferred from the stomach to small intestine. From the stomach, the food is passed into small intestine. Now, what is a small intestine? It is the long, what do you say, tube-like structure, like a pipe. Okay, you can see here on your screen, children, this pink color pipe-like structure, coiled, okay, coiled. They have, see how nicely they have coiled. So these are called as small intestine. Okay, these are called as small intestine. So the food enters into this small intestine from the stomach. Now what happens here in the small intestine, where you also have a liver, in your body you have liver and pancreas, which produces some more digestive juices, some more digestive juices. So this liver and this pancreas, which are located nearby the stomach, okay, so what they do, they also produce some digestive system. So the food which enters into the small intestine gets mixed with the digestive juices which are being produced by the liver and the pancreas. So what they do, the liver and the pancreas, they pour their juice into small intestine. They pour their juice into the small intestine. Now these juices then gets mixed with the food and completely digest it into the small intestine. So what they have, see in the stomach, we saw the digestive juice which was being produced by the stomach was getting mixed with the food, and it was actually absorbing all the, and it was helping it to digest properly. And now the remaining undigested food which stomach passes to the small intestine. Here, now in the small intestine we don't get to produce the juice, digestive juices. So now here what happens is liver and the pancreas plays a role there. So liver and the pancreas, they produce the juice and they pour it into the small intestine, wherein it helps the small intestine to again digest the food properly. Again digest the food properly. The walls of the small intestine, they also absorb, they also suck the digested food and passes into the blood, passes into the blood, and these blood carries the digestive food to all the parts of the body. See here, digestion, a small part of the digestion happens in the stomach, the first thing. And the second thing, the food is again digested further in the small intestine. Now, small intestine absorbs all the nutrients from the food, and it is the one who supplies these digested food into the blood. Who does it? It is the small intestine who does, who supplies, who sends to the blood, and this blood goes completely in our body, right? To, with the help of this bloods only, the food which we eat in the form of energy is supplied to whole of our body. Yes. Now what happens after the food is digested of furthermore into our small intestine? Now what will small intestine do? It will again pass the food to the large intestine, whichever the undigested part of the food is, again passed to large intestine. See how the food is traveling from mouth to food pipe, then to stomach, then to small intestine. Now finally it is going to large intestine. So what happens in the large intestine? The undigested food, whichever the undigested food of stomach goes into small intestine, the undigested food from the small intestine goes to large intestine. Now what happens in the large intestine? The walls of the large intestine absorbs the water from it and then passes into the blood. See, until now stomach was helping to digest the food nutrients, the small intestine also, and it was giving it to the blood. Now whatever water part, right? Whenever we eat our food, we have water present in that, and then we drink waters also, right? So whatever water is present in the food, okay, whichever we have eaten, that water is absorbed by the large intestine. What is the work of the large intestine? To absorb the water from the food. And to whom will it give? It again gives it to the blood only. So it passes that water from it and then passes it to the blood. And finally, after absorbing all the water from the food, what will happen? It will be like a solid part, right? The undigested semi-solid, so it will be like a solid part. A semi-solid waste is collected in the rectum and is eliminated through the anus. It's just like how we go in the morning potty. So whenever we have regular in the day, full day, we eat food and all, right? In the morning, we go to the washroom and we take out all the undigested waste particle in the morning washroom, correct? So the undigested semi-solid waste is collected in another body part called as rectum, okay, and is eliminated through the anus, right? It comes out of our body through anus. While eating food, that's the reason, children. Now you have got to know, right? Now we have seen, one second. See, now we have seen, right, how we, whatever the food which we are eating, we have to chew properly. While we are chewing, the food gets mixed with the saliva, correct? And then it passes through the food pipe, enters into the stomach. There also it mixes with the digestive juices. Then again it is transferred to, it passes through small intestine. Small intestine, what it is? It is like a long pipe which is coiled, which is like tightly packed inside our body. And there what happens? There also it gets mixed with the juice. How is the juice produced in the intestine? Intestine does not produce it. So liver and pancreas, they produce the digestive juice and pass it to the small intestine. So their small intestine again further digests the food, and all the digested food is sent to the blood from there. Then the food gets passed to the large intestine, and large intestine absorbs all the water from it, correct? And what is left out? A solid, semi-solid food material which is not digested by our body, which the large intestine passes it to the rectum, and the rectum, there it gets collected, and from anus it comes out of our body. Now you saw, right, how important it is to have proper nutrient, chew properly, yes, so that our food gets properly digested in our body. So let us see what are the do's and don'ts. Yes. So what, that's the reason it is always told, wash hand before you eat your food. Yes, because your hands, you keep on touching your hands here and there, you keep on touching different things and all, and you get attracted to the germs, or germs must be there present on your hands. So if you eat food with the dirty hands, obviously the germs will get mixed with the food item and it enters into the stomach, and you'll have a stomach pain, right? That's the reason, wash your hands before eating. Chew your food properly. Yes. If you don't chew your food, see, chewing can be happen only in your mouth. Did you see that chewing is happening in the stomach? No, right? So if you don't eat the food properly, the stomach will not be able to digest the food properly, correct? So that's why it's always been told, chew your food properly before you swallow it. Do not, like, not do not speak while you're chewing the food. What happens when we are speaking while we are having the food, chewing the food? We don't chew it properly, and we, because we want to speak, we swallow the food without chewing it properly, and again you will not have proper energy because the food does not get digested properly in your stomach and intestines. Eat green vegetables and fruits every day, because they have lots of nutrients, they have lots of energy in them, and they are very good for health. Eat a balanced diet. Now what do I mean by balanced diet? You should have proper roti, rice, vegetables, pulses, water, fruits, everything in proper amount. Anything in excess is also not good, and if you eliminate something is also not good. Take food at fixed interval. You should eat the food in a proper time. Morning breakfast at proper time, afternoon lunch at proper time, evening snacks at a proper time, night dinner at a proper time. So it should be a fixed interval. You should never do like have breakfast and directly you have your snacks in the night time or evening time. So the food should be taken in a proper fixed interval. And children, it's very important to take 8 to 10 glass of a water every day. Now, what is the importance of eating fresh and clean food? See, your parents, your mother, your teachers, your grandparents, every time whenever you see some food item and you hog on at, so what they do say, wash it before eating, wash it before eating. Why do they say this one? Let's see the importance of that. We eat raw as well as cooked food, correct? So how, let us see how cooked as well as uncooked food can become the source of many infections. See children, when we eat raw food, right? Raw food means something which is not cooked, which is not cooked. You eat it like that only. So whenever you eat any food or any unwashed fruit and vegetable, if you do not wash these fruits and vegetables, they carry germs of the diseases which can cause diarrhea. Diarrhea means loose motions, vomiting, and other stomach problems, ailments. Okay, so you always, because see, whenever you go into the market, do you see clean environment there? Do you see fresh air over there? Don't you see any dirt? Yes, how many people will be touching the food items over there? Many people, right? And it's in open air. Just think how much germs will be available on the food. Yes, many a times the food vendor who sells, the food seller, the fruit seller, the vegetable seller, their fruits and vegetables, they keep falling on the roadside ground, and obviously it'll get mixed with the dirt, right? And if your parents will get it from outside, and if you feel that it's fresh, no, actually there will be what do you say, the germs which are not visible for our eyes, it will definitely be available. Some fruit seller, what they do, children, they'll take the fruits and vegetables and just wash it in the dirty water, so that the mud and dust which is present on the vegetables and fruits gets just washed away. But imagine washing the fruits and vegetables again in a dirty water, obviously you'll have some more dirt available. And now if you do not wash these fruits and vegetables properly and have it in a raw form, obviously you will have stomach pain, you will have loose motions, you have vomiting. So you should always eat washed fruits and vegetables. Unwashed fruits and vegetables also can also carry egg worms. These eggs are too small to be seen by our naked eyes. So when these, let me show you. Can you see on your screen, children? Yes, the leaves are having the eggs of the worms. Here also on the hand, you can see the green leafy vegetables are having green color worms, which will not be visible for us. And if we eat it, obviously these worms will get inside our body, which is really harmful for us. And these eggs are so small, which our naked eyes sometimes are not able to see properly. So what happens when these worms, they reach the stomach? Imagine we eat it off. Okay, we have eaten these vegetables and we have not seen it properly, and we have not washed it properly, or we have not washed at all. So what happens? These worms enter into our stomach, or these eggs enter into our stomach, and inside our stomach these eggs hatch, right? And these eggs hatch. See, this image on your screen is of the stomach. Can you see the worms in our stomach? If we eat these worms, it becomes, the eggs also hatch inside our human stomach, and they produce more and more worms. So these worms live inside our stomach and intestine. These live in our stomach and intestine. And whatever food which we eat, which is for our body, these worms which are present in our stomach and intestine, they start eating that, and they become more in number, and they become more in energy also, right? So they become energetic and we become very low, and obviously they will also give more birth to the other worms. And people having worms generally look very weak and pale. Yes, if you have worms, obviously you have stomach pain, you will have loose motions, and you will, whatever food was supposed to be there for you is being eaten by the worms, correct? It's not a good thing. That's why you should always eat washed fruits and vegetable, or cook it properly before consuming it. Nextly, Peeled and cut fruits and vegetables which are exposed to flies and dust can transfer germs. Imagine you have peeled and cut the fruits and vegetables and you have kept it open only. You did not cover it for a long time. What happens? There are many flies and dust which can sit on it. And obviously, when you eat these food items, again, you'll have the germs transferred from those food items to your body, and thus they may cause many diseases, again, like jaundice, cholera. All these kind of diseases are also caused because of eating these germs contaminated food items. Cooked food, when we leave it, see, sometimes what happens is we cook the food and we leave it on the dining table or the tables without covering it, or we don't keep it in a fridge and we keep it outside only for long hours. So what happens on this? Lot, you can also have something called food poisoning, because the uncovered food will also have germs on that. And germs, they, in very short time, they multiply and they become more in number. And these, if we do not refrigerate, just imagine you have prepared a bowl of rice today and you want to eat tomorrow. You have kept it uncovered or you have kept it outside for a long time. What happens? It will start decaying, children. It will start decaying. It will cause lots of germs inside. This happens because germs then get plenty of time, because they get lots of time to grow, right? Lots of time to grow and multiply in food items, multiply in the food itself. One worm can become into two, three, four. In short time, you'll see so many worms inside your food items. So the germs produces harmful substances. The germs produces harmful substances which can cause vomiting and diarrhea. See, especially whenever you go outside, right? Street food, restaurant food, and you get tempted looking at the food items which they display over there, which is kept open. And you know, right? Outside food, so much of flies, dust, everything particles goes and sit on these food. And when they give this food to us to eat, obviously it'll have germs and you'll have problems. At home also, it is advised not to keep the, once you cook the food, if you want to keep for longer time, better put it in the refrigerator. Or if you want to eat it, but in sometimes, please cover the food for some time until and unless you consume it, right? So that you avoid any kind of germs to come and sit on that. Flies also, children, flies, they keep flying on dirty things, right? They go and sit on the dirts outside, and the same flies, they come inside our house and sit on the food items which we eat. Obviously what will happen? They transfer the germs and we get the diseases. That's the reason it is very important for us to have washed and cooked vegetables, washed and cooked vegetables, plus the food which we have cooked should be kept covered. And then the food, if you want to keep it for longer time, it's better to refrigerate it and consume it whenever required. I hope everything is clear for you all. If you're not able to understand any part of this particular topic, please do let me know. I'll explain you more.